Hey folks, today I'm going to answer an age-old question that has been asked by oh so many car owners. Hey man, can you hold on a minute? I got a question for you. I got some clear coat peeling just on top of this panel. Can you just throw some clear coat on this spot only and be done with it? Look man, I'll even give you 20 bucks man. Come on, do it. And which has been politely declined by oh so many body repairmen. Yes, if you own enough cars long enough, eventually you'll run into this problem, where the clear coat will start to wear out on one area of the panel. This will usually happen somewhere on your hood, or on your roof, or somewhere on your trunk. And that's because these are the areas where they get the most amount of direct sunlight. So here's a close look at what we're going to be working on today. As you can see, in some areas, the clear coat is pretty much all gone, and around these edges, it's kind of flaky, and it continues all the way down, pretty much all the way down to where the windshield starts. There's some clear coat damage on this end as well, but for the most part, the clear coat on this car is in pretty good shape. Now, if you go to an auto body shop and just ask for a spot repair on your clear coat, you're more than likely going to be politely declined. That's because most reputable auto body shops have standards to meet. They cannot warranty their work if they apply clear coat on top of this. And most important of all, just like everyone else, they need to make money. But if you don't care about the longevity of your repair and you just want to make your panel look better than what it does now, there's a way you can do this yourself. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. Now, the quality of your repair is going to vary based on how long the clear coat has been left neglected and damaged. So get yourself some car wash soap and with a clean sponge, thoroughly wash down the panel to be repaired. And then we'll rinse off our panel with a clean bucket of water. And next we're going to dry off our panel using a microfiber towel, or in my case, this sponge. Alright, so before we can apply new clear coat to this area and hopefully improve upon the look of this panel, we need to remove any old clear coat that might be flaking off, and at the same time scuff up any old clear coat that might be in good shape so that when we apply our new clear coat, it has something to adhere to. And for this, I like to use a gray Scotch-Brite pad, because not only this will scuff up our panel, but also due to its texture and form, it will help in removing any old flaky clear coat that we got on here. And as I've said in my other video, this is an automotive body repair and refinishing Scotch-Brite pad. It's not just any Scotch-Brite pad. Now, if you're interested in this or any other tools or products used in this video, I'll put links to where you can buy them for cheap in the description box, so don't be afraid to click on them and check them out. Now, before we start using our Scotch-Brite pad, it's a good idea to mask off any adjacent panels that you don't want any scratches on. I'm actually going to mask off this rear quarter panel in addition to the roof, because I don't want this video to get too long, and I'll do this at a later time. So if you're new to this, when you go to apply your masking tape, make sure you put the masking tape only on the panel that you're aiming to mask off. Because let's say you're not careful and a part of this masking tape ends up being on this panel. Afterwards, when you apply your clear coat and then the clear coat dries and you go to peel off your masking tape, when you do this, you're going to peel off some of your new clear coat with it. So make sure you're getting ready in between the two panels, and then use a bunch of small pieces of masking tape if you have to, so that you don't ruin your hard work when you go to peel these off. Alright, so we do the same thing for the roof. Make sure we'll slide this piece of tape under our panel. And now we get to use our Scotch-Brite pad. But something I forgot is that for this, you'll need some elbow grease as well. Again, link in the description box down below. And when you're doing this, you want to apply nice, even, and firm pressure. Make sure you go over all the areas and get as much of the flaking old clear coat that's on here off this panel. And areas you want to pay special attention to is going to be around the edges and corners, because if you don't scuff these down, this is where your new clear coat is going to start peeling from. Fold your Scotch-Brite pad if you have to, and go over all these corners and edges. A lot of times I'll just go over all the edges first, get them out of the way, and then the rest of it is fairly easy. Alright, so here's a look at what we have so far. As you can see, it's pretty scuffed down. Now here's something very important you need to pay attention to. Just because your clear coat damage ends at a certain spot, that doesn't mean you stop scuffing it down in that area as well. We need a buffer zone where we're going to blend the new clear coat that we're going to apply to this panel to the old clear coat that's on this panel. Now in this particular case, it might be easier just to sand down or scuff down this panel, since it pretty much ends here, all the way down to here, and then apply clear coat to this whole entire segment. But then again, people out there wouldn't learn how to blend the new clear coat into the old clear coat. So here's what you need to do. So where your clear coat damage ends, you need to keep sanding or scuffing down the panel about 5 to 6 inches past that area. And again, since ours ends about here, we're going to keep going past that to pretty much around here. Alright, so here's a look at what we have. As you can see, this is nice and evenly scuffed down all the way to here. So once again, we'll grab our bucket of water and rinse down our repair area. And then we thoroughly dry it. It's very important that this is dry before the next step. Alright, next we're going to mask off our repair area using some masking paper, newspapers. Or in my case, I'm actually going to use these blue shop towels. Alright, so here's another important tip. When it comes time to mask the blend area, you don't want to mask off where the scuff marks and the scratches end. You actually need to come in a few inches and then put your masking tape and paper here. But you want to avoid putting a masking tape flat like this, because then when you spray clear coat here, you're going to have a line where you put the masking tape. So what you want to do is to back mask this blend area. And the way you do this is that you put your masking paper just above the area you want to back mask, then apply your masking tape, and then you simply push back or pull back on the masking paper, and that's it. Now instead of a flat piece of tape, this is what you have now, which is going to help you avoid a thick line of clear coat here after you apply your new clear coat to this panel. And next it's time to spray our clear coat. And I strongly recommend you use a 2K clear coat, which is what I have here, which basically means your clear coat comes with its own activator or hardener. These 2K clear coats are much more durable and last a lot longer when you compare them to the 1K clear coats you buy at your local auto parts store. But the only issue is, if you want to buy one of these in an aerosol can, you're going to have to find a local auto body shop supply store that carries them, or you can buy them online. Again, if you want to buy them online, I put a link to it in the description where you can find it. Alright, so the way we're going to activate this is to first shake it for a good 2 minutes. Alright, next we're going to remove this little red cap from the top of the can and then place it on the bottom. Put it back on the ground like this, and then we're going to press this in, and this mixes our hardener with our clear coat. There we go. And then we shake it for another 2 minutes. No one said it was going to be easy. And one last thing before we start spraying is that you want to get yourself a tack cloth and gently tack down your panel. This way you get rid of all dust particles that could still be on here right before you start spraying your clear coat. Alright, next, from about 8 inches away, you basically want to point and shoot, and you want to put down about 3 medium coats, waiting about 10 minutes between each coat. And the difference between a light coat versus a medium coat versus a wet coat is basically the speed that you're applying your clear coat. So if I was going really fast, that would mean I was applying a light coat. If I was going just with medium speed, that would be a medium coat. And if I was going very slow, that would mean that I was applying a heavy or wet coat. And another tip for beginners is that you want to start moving the can first, then start spraying. And then when you get to the end where you want to stop, you want to release this and then stop moving. Because if you don't start moving first before you start applying clear coat or paint, you're going to end up leaving a blob of clear coat where you started or when you stopped spraying. And you don't really want to do that. That's just not good practice. Also, you're spraying 2K clear coat. You're going to need one of these. All right, here we go. So here's how things look after the first coat. Already looking pretty shiny, I should say. But we can't celebrate just yet because things will look a lot different when they're completely dry and this clear coat cures. But for now, we're just gonna wait another 10 minutes and apply our second coat. All right, time for our second pass. All right, it looks even better now, but if you put your eye right next to it, you can still see some of the white marks that were on the old, worn out clear coat. I guess we'll find out how this looks soon enough, but for now, we'll wait another 10 minutes and apply our third coat. All right, next we'll wait about 2 to 3 hours, and then we'll remove our masking paper and tape. Alright, it's 2 hours later and we're ready to peel off our masking paper. Here's another important tip I can give you, and that's if you're peeling off masking tape right from an adjacent panel, you peel it off pulling away from the panel you have clear coat on. This way, if there's any clear coat still attached to this masking tape, it peels off right around the edges and it doesn't peel back and remove more clear coat from your panel. By the way, talk about a before and after shot. This is a pretty huge improvement if you ask me. But again, this clear coat is still not dried, so we're not gonna celebrate just yet. Alright, so here's how things look without masking tape. And here's how things look in our blend area. We've still got a bit of a line here, but this is not too bad. We should have no problem blending our new clear coat into our old clear coat. But in order to be able to do our blend, we're gonna have to wait at least 48 hours for this clear coat to dry and harden. But if you have the luxury of time, wait even longer. So let's say you waited a week or two before you did your blend, that would be perfect. Now, as far as how soon after you apply clear coat you can drive your car, well, ideally you want to let it sit overnight, because if you drive it sooner than, let's say, 3, 4, 5 hours, you run the risk of getting dust and debris stuck into your new clear coat. Alright guys, so welcome back. It's been a couple of days since we last sprayed our clear coat on here. So now we're ready to do our blend. First, let me give you a close-up shot of our repair area. As you can see, it turned out really nice, pretty nice and shiny with minimal orange peel. Yeah, this clear coat is pretty good stuff. You can't get much better results than this using an aerosol can. But again, as expected, if you look very closely, you can still see the white marks left over from the old clear coat. But from a few yards out, it looks just as good as new. And it's a difference of night and day when compared to the old clear coat. Alright, enough of me gloating. Let me show you how you can blend this now. What you want to do next is to get yourself some 1500 grit sandpaper, and then using a soft sanding block and some clean water, lightly wet sand this blend area between our two clear coats. We're basically trying to get rid of this line that we had here and have a smooth transition between the two clear coats. And every so often, make sure you wipe down the area and check your work. You don't want to overdo this and remove too much of your new clear coat that you just put on there. So here's a close look at what we have right now. We got rid of our line that was here, but we did peel back some of our new clear coat. But that's okay, it's not too much and this shouldn't be a problem. So next, you'll need to grab yourself a polisher like this, and then get yourself a wool pad and attach it to your polisher, and then using some medium grit rubbing compound, completely polish this area where we have the dull clear coat. Now here's something else that's very important that you want to pay close attention to. When polishing this area, you want to make sure the direction of the rotation of your polisher is away from the new clear coat that you just applied here. So this polisher I got here is going to be turning this way, so I'm going to be going at this direction. So as this is turning, it's just going to heat this area and get more on the old clear coat. Because if you go the other direction, let's say you go this way, as this is turning, this is going to heat this area on the new clear coat side more, and it's just going to peel back the new clear coat you just put on there, and you obviously don't want that. And you want to set this to low to medium speed, and as you're going down and coming back up, try to have just almost no pressure, or maybe even pick this up and come back up and go back down over your clear coat area, and just use almost no pressure or very little pressure as you're polishing. Alright, so first we'll apply a little bit of rubbing compound, and I'm almost out, but this should be enough. And then we'll spread this around so that it doesn't fling all over us. Then put our polisher to a low setting, and start polishing. And then after a couple of passes, we'll clean off the area and then check our work. As you can see, we made improvements, but we can still see the transition line. Actually, you see it more because of the lighting. If I were to cover this, you would see a lot less of it. But we're still gonna have to do this a couple more times until we get rid of this. All right, so about 3 passes later, here's a look at our transition area. I'm not even sure if you guys are gonna be able to pick this up on the camera, but it's right here. This is where our transition was. Again, you can still see it if you put your eye right next to it and know exactly where to look and all that stuff. But again, from a yard or two out, you really can't see the transition. You can see a little bit from this angle, and maybe I could polish this some more, but again, this is never gonna be perfect. But when you compare it to what you had before, one could argue it is perfect. Now, something else you can do to hide this is to put some wax on here on this transition area, but generally speaking, you wanna wait at least a month before you put wax on newly sprayed clear coat. So there you have it, folks. Doing spot repair on your clear coat can greatly improve the look of your clear coat, but it will never look as good as new or as good as if you were to completely repaint and clear coat the said panel. Also, your results may vary based on how long the clear coat has been left neglected. Like this clear coat wasn't that severe, whereas the clear coat on the green Toyota that I showed earlier in this video is a pretty severe case. Now if you're curious how it will look like and want me to do a repair video on the clear coat on that Toyota Camry, I'll make a poll and put a link to it right here on this side of the screen that you can participate in. And enough votes are cast for me doing another video on that, I'll make another video on that and put it up on my channel. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, do me a favor and share it on your favorite social network. And also check out these other related videos, of which I put links to on this side of the screen that you can click on. There will also be links in the description box down below as well. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.